off of a second dropship. Orders?
This is forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Roger, control 3 hours. Starting salvage operation. This is forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega Lab, we're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're ready to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... at 220 meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking. This is a query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of a second dropship. Orders?
This is forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Roger, Control 3 hours. Starting salvage operation. This is forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega Lab, we're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're ready to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... at 220 meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking. This is a query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of a second dropship. Orders?
This is forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Roger, Control 3 hours. Starting salvage operation. This is forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega Lab, we're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're ready to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're...
Pay attention to the paper doll. Make sure you guys are shooting the correct legs. Be careful. another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And when anybody's running short, is going to stay towards the top of the call there. We're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griff. Griffin.
Sounds good. Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill the out, man. It's fine, it's just a 5-starter.
Komm, Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't die.
Guys,
15 seconds, don't die.
guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow. Okay, go for your police if you can get it.
There. To your left, is there? Sorry, shit. So, jetzt guys, hinter die Indie-Pocken.
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on OP barrels. Wire are strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have three mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over. Overheating is bad. Both legs on the Griffin. Hit the Griffin.
Sorry about that. That was such a
That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lancey guys in Charlie, Lancey guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite, zieht euch in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Aufschaltung Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums einleiten, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line.
C4 Tactical Hill, boys.
Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, hab 2 durchlaufen, 10, Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from our right.
Charlie on the left. Charlie, Hellbringer on the left.
Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to Bravo 4. I think they're kind of spread out.
Check yourselves. Make sure you've got, UAV cool shot.
Here they come. They're pushing hard, guys.
Decro. Tez on.
Go. Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3.
Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin.
We'll get cross it then. Get in their face. They got a highlighter. They just push up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta.
Yep, that's the noise. Go. Let's finish this.
Full pressure, guys. Full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3. Get the f***ing arm, Jackson.
Jackson, cool shot.
Golf. I got him.
Go, B3, go.
Echo. Get over on your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow.
God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill. I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family.
Take out the APU gadgets as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega Lab, we're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're able to live, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. Now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates this good eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking. This is a query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Roger, Control, 3 hours. Starting salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gadgets as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega Lab, we're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're able to live, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. Now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates this good eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking. This is a query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Roger, Control, 3 hours. Starting salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gadgets as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega Lab, we're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're able to live, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. Now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're...
Hey, wake up.
Okay guys, that's our last match of the season. Let's make this one count.
Wenn sie zu mir kommen, mich überraschen, ziehe ich sie zu euch und fertig.
Alles klar.
Hey,
Alright,
wake
so
up.
medium's Gamma, light's Theta, heavy's Kappa.
Roger.
Alright, here we go. Driver Lance, data is yours. W key.
Roger.
Alright, can't see anything. Stacking up in Theta.
I keep getting seismic. Can you see them?
Yeah, they got heavies up here as well.
kill anything that moves.
Lights, just give us some scouting. That's probably the best thing for you guys.
Roger, moving to E4.
Here they come.
What do you see? What do you see?
100 and Delta 4 on.
Alright guys, comms, got it.
Yep, prepare to fight, call target.
Push out,
guys.
Here we go.
That big
Yeah.
Nexus moved up. That big Nexus moved up.
Copy that, okay.
Wait for them to come to us.
Roll into them.
I'm rolling.
Rolling.
There's Max D3 coming from our right, guys.
Yep, we got this. I want to call something, and I want to see it dead in seconds. Make it happen.
Okay, auf 3. 1, 2, 3. Go.
Guys, we need to get on top over here quick.
J'ai un Stormcrow qui casse les couilles dans le dos là.
Keep going, let's go!
Go. Everybody in.
Got him. Nice. Hawk crouch down.
So they can move, guys. Go now.
Bravo's leg.
Nice. Holy shit.
Yep, get out of there right now.
Take care of that Black Knight. Taking it easy.
Stop, kill him now.
Push forward, guys. Push forward.
Nice fucking job.
Just run. Stay alive and run.
Nice job, everyone. Well fucking played. That is how it is done.
Fuck yeah, man. Well done.
I can forgive you for shooting me in the back.
Alright, keep your eyes active, guys. Don't have scouts on this one, so we're gonna have to all scout.
I'll be there soon too. We've got mechs on the way. You guys got this.
Seems like a fucking ambulance 911 call.
We are headed into drop 2. 2 lights, 4 mediums, 2 heavies, 0 assaults on skirmish. Let's take a look.
We need to spread out a bit. We need to see where from they're coming, and then we will.
Alright, boys. Manly men. We're gonna take some fire. We're gonna put fire out.
Just make sure you trade well.
Ja. So, stopp. Wir ändern Bewegungsrichtung.
Schon zu weit.
Yeah, we need to go it now.
Yes.
Keep it up, hold your ground. They have a lot of guys beat up CGs.
The light is peeking at us, Record 4.
Yep, you got one right here. We're doing alright, guys. We're up by 2. Stay cagey. 3 remaining. We got this one.
Alright, guys, let's do this.
Oh my fucking lord.
Foxtrot is red CT.
Alright, lights going behind him.
Hey, Charlie, come on, guys. Finish him.
Side to ourselves.
Prepare for rapid speed.
Alright, Stormcrow, Charlie.
Tir d'opportunité sur le couverture par l'ultra là.
Oh, and he got the kill.
And with a second shot, takes down Aiden with himself.
Derrière, bravo.
Dans les jambes toujours.
Like, go back.
Don't panic, just do it.
Yes! It was a great match, back and forth, all sorts of stuff going on, incredible shots, things we've never seen before, and things you don't get to see.
Good job, Dara.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gents. This is Last Blast, and we are here with the MRBC Season 10 Week 2 competition. We are streaming tonight for you EU Division D. We have Drapau Blanc playing Clan Widowmaker Epsilon Galaxy. This will be my first ever MRBC stream, so go gentle. If I'm doing something really odd, you can tell me, but I won't sit for 5 minutes. The whole stream tonight is delayed 5 minutes to allow the teams latitude to maneuver and not have their tactics revealed. I am now sat waiting to go with CWM, who are kindly going to host me into the match and enable us to have the spectate tools available to us. We may at some point have 1 or 2 guest hosts on, also from my unit, First Crucis Recon. Just to start us off, I'm going to solo this one, just so we can get levels and stuff, make sure this is all going out okay for you guys. So, yeah, without further ado, we have 2 teams tonight that currently head their division, as we can see up on the screen here. Clan Widowmaker, Epsilon Galaxy going 5-0 in their first match. 40 mechs destroyed, so that was comprehensive from them. They play the away side tonight, up against Drapau Blanc, the home team. Drapau Blanc went 4 in theirs. Again, a pretty comprehensive raid of mech destruction there. So again, these guys, ones to watch. I think we can safely play. We can safely say. Drapau Blanc are a French-speaking side, I understand. So they're coming over from there. We'll see if we can call up a few more stats on them in a minute. So here we go. Let's see what we can get on Drapau Blanc. Okay, so yep, 4-0 against Furia in the first round. That was 15th April. That match went down. Scheduled tonight against Clan Widowmaker. Yuan Harox, I gather, is their team lead for the evening. They show a roster that's pretty healthy there. They've got more than enough pilots to do this. Perhaps enough that they can specialise a little. We'll wait and see there. But again, it looks like a pretty solid team. And from the brief contact I have had with them today, they seem fairly confident and up for this one. So there you go. Drapau Blanc, largely out of France, French speaking. The home team for this evening. Switching over now, we'll have a look at the opposition. So, Clan Widowmaker, Epsilon Galaxy. An extensive roster here, it has to be said. They have a large number of very competent pilots to call on. Interestingly, both of these teams showing as not having run in the league before. I do know that some of the CWM guys have competed in their main teams and have had other competitive experience. Again, Snow Leopard Company on the receiving end of the 5-0 last week. So these guys can be justifiably confident going into tonight's match, I think. Just waiting now on the teams. We have a green board showing over at CWM, ready to host me in. Just waiting on confirmation from Drapau as to the start time. Scheduled start time 2000 BST. That's 1500 Eastern Daylight Time for those of you over in the States. So we're expecting to get started here in about 5 minutes. Those of you watching on the stream, obviously you won't be hearing me just yet, but I hope you'll get engaged, post up some opinions and ideas as we go along. I know we have other MRBC streamers and mods in there this evening, helping you guys out, answering the questions, and just perhaps keeping an eye on you. So don't do anything, too horrible. Just saying. The other reason, of course, as ever, this is MRBC, and even on my first time out, I am armed with a set of giveaway codes, you may be pleased to know. So, what do we have for you tonight? Throughout the evening, we'll be giving away at least 3, I believe. I think we have a 24-hour code. That's going to go after drop 1, hopefully. 24-hour premium, just ideal for any of you getting into the game, starting out, or perhaps if you're poking around in Solaris, because we do appreciate you being here when you could be playing the new Solaris mode. We really do. We hope you'll go and check that out, perhaps after the drop as well. Later on in the evening, we have a mech bay to give away. And then later in the evening, at the end of the night, I do have a grand prize. I'm going to keep that one a bit close to my chest. On top of that, this being my first time out, we are going to have one extra. I think I've got one I can put up, just a small one for myself as a thanks for joining this my first stream. So there we go. We continue just to wait on the teams here, guys. Usual thing. It's at their discretion when they want to start the match. Both teams have to be showing ready and be happy with the situation. As ever, we'll be playing a series of 5 drops, and usually the first is the exception. We have a domination fight straight up, and certainly when I spoke to a couple of teams earlier, they seemed to think that was a good way to get some initial nerves out and just just start off the evening. Then we will roll into four separate conquest fights. First one tonight, of course, Polar Highlands, Polar Lurmlands, as it's affectionately known, or perhaps not. I don't think myself will be seeing a lot of Lurm action tonight. We don't tend to see that in the competitive. Be curious to see which way the teams take it. Obviously, it's a map that lends itself to range, and certainly we do find that some of the higher teams definitely do want to do that range trade. But that's not to say that a good brawl can't also carry it through. This is one of the lower divisions, so expect to see some unusual strategies played out, perhaps some bold moves, new teams coming in and trying new ideas. So we genuinely do not know what we're going to get. It's one of the great things about the lower tier and lower division matches. It's often new teams, it's new pilots, it's fresh blood, and we really do get to see some exciting and very close, sometimes very close matches. Both first two maps, of course, are cold. So again, we may see a lot of clan. I suspect a lot of clan high alpha weaponry. Expect to see some laser vomit going down, maybe some PPC. Later in the evening, we do have some warmer maps. We will finish the night up in Ruby Oasis. But we're basically going to start cold and get warmer as the night goes on. So it'll be interesting to see if that factors into the team's performance. Are either of these teams going to have that little bit better heat management skill that might carry them through? We don't know that. We're going to find out. Just seeing you guys starting to post up there. Yeah, some unconfirmed results, I gather. 4-1 against the Furia team. I'm sure that will be confirmed. Obviously, with the weekly matches, you can get a gap of as much as 13 days. We can have gaps as little as 1 or 2 days. So it's not at all unusual in the league format just to have a couple of things not showing up at first. Just feeling it's very quiet for you here, guys. I'm just going to put on a bit of the Mech Lab background music here, just to give us a little bit of atmosphere while we wait. Apologies for the delay here. I don't have anything from the teams, but we are on a brief hold here, just while we await both teams showing ready. I'm going to assume it's Japao, just perhaps waiting. I can see CWM are fully green. So I assume we will be starting as soon as Japao are ready. They have the home team slot tonight, so it is on them to set the lobby up and pull the other team in as well as their caster. So yeah. Those of you in chat, anyone want to give me a hot tip on this one? I mean, you know, I'm thinking this one could go either way, but I'm prepared to listen to you guys. I'm watching what you guys had to say 5 minutes ago in my world, but curious to see what the general consensus is. Do we think it's going to go one way or the other, or are you guys also expecting a close one? Snacks bar party time a while ago. What is BST? British summertime. So 1 hour behind most of the Europeans, certainly behind Germany and France. 5 hours ahead of EU East Coast guys. So while we wait, we'll just we'll run through a few more bits. I think we can probably. I'm going to shuffle us over now to the drop one interface. Just let's see if we can have a look at what the teams are likely to be up against. Perhaps have a little bit of a talk about where we are with the rules situation at the moment in the MRBC League. So here we go, pulling it up now. Japao Blanc plays CWM, Epsilon Galaxy. We are going to have a first drop of Polar Highlands. It will be a domination. This is a reconnaissance setting. We're going to see a 4-4-0-0 setup. 4 lights, 4 mediums. The teams are allowed only one duplicate chassis, so we will see 7 different types of mech, or possibly 8. We can't have any lock-on weapons, so again, don't be thinking we're going to see any Lerms on Polar Lerms tonight. And in this Season 10, in what was a fairly tight vote, we have had the strikes approved. So all teams can throw strikes, as many as they can carry. The bonus for this first drop, should I say, the destruction of 5 enemy mechs. So as well as the 300 points up for grabs, there is a bonus of 50, even if the losers, or indeed the winners, can down 50 or more. I'm pleased to confirm we now have a drop situation. We are now in the lobby. I am watching the boards green up as we sit. I currently have, we have a mix of lights. So just settling in here, guys. So, again, just seeing them move around. I won't talk yet about the deployment points they're using, just in case we hang on a long delay. Obviously, the teams do have the discretion to move them, and there's always going to be that 5-minute hold. But for those of you who haven't watched MRBC, obviously it's an 8v8 format. You still have access to the 3 drop points you normally would, Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. So the teams have a limited degree of tactical flexibility as to where they deploy their mechs. They do all know where the drop points are. We'll see some maps as we go on through the evening. Most teams will tend to blob into 2 lances of 4, pick 2 of the drop points and go from there. Obviously, domination, they may well choose the foremost drop points to give them that little bit of an edge getting to the circle. But there are different strategies out there. We sometimes see lights detached in a 2-pair or similar to do something a bit different, again, particularly in the Conquest matches later on. So it'll be interesting to see what the team's up for in that regard. Are we going to see them do 2 lances of 4, or is anyone going to do something a little bit different in this first one? We now have 8 green and 8 green. I have connecting coming up in-game, and we are switching to the drop. This is a Drapau Blanc, Clan Widowmaker, Epsilon Galaxy, Polar Highlands Domination, the first of your 8v8 matches for this evening. Just seeing up on the board there. I'm not seeing much hype for either team, actually, guys. Let's get some hype going there. Snacks part-time throwing up some Team Drapau Blanc hype there. So, have we got some CWM in the house? CWM support? Let's see what we've got here. Okay, we have our camera. We are in, and we are waiting for the dropships to arrive. Just going to run in over the battlefield for you guys here. Obviously, I appreciate the vast majority of you have seen MWO before, but maybe, if this is your first time watching, you're not as familiar. Big green circle in the middle of the map, bottom left, is the objective. The teams have to get that and hold it. If they can hold it without the enemy team also being in the circle for a minute, they will get a straight-up win. In practice, this usually turns... Thank you for that, Commander. This usually turns into a straight-up skirmish with just a little bit of a tactical element. That radar dish in the middle there defining the centre of the circle we're interested in. So we're going to skim over here. We're going to go over to the home team side. I think we'll go and have a look at Drapau first and see what they've brought out for us. Bringing the scoreboards up now. So we have Wolfhound, Nova, Bushwhacker, Hunchback, Huntsman, Arctic Cheetah, Mistlynx, and another Wolfhound. So they're duping their Wolfhounds. They're going with dupe lights, both of the 1 alpha build there. So curious to see what they'll be doing with those. On the opposite side, we're seeing an Arctic Cheetah, Hunchback, Assassin, Javelin, Mistlynx, Wolfhound again, and on the opposite team, on the Widowmakers, they are duping mediums. They are going with 2 Huntsmen. We'll be interested to see the roll there, but I would suggest it's probably likely to be splat. We're going to see a lot of SRM fire. And already both teams straight to work here. They're not hanging around. They're going straight for the circles. It looks like we're going to see them come into contact as they hook around the edge here. Meerkat there for the Widowmakers, just doubling back once he's hit the edge of the circle. I think he's realised he's a little bit forwards. He's posted a UAV. We see that UAV there, centre of picture. And we also see CWM throwing the first strike there. Rounds going down, but to no effect. That's a clean miss. Mediums for both teams taking a little while longer to get here. Interestingly, we see Widowmakers to the rear. They're just being slightly hesitant. They're holding the edge of the circle. Similar play, actually, now we're looking at it, from Drapeau Blanc. They also holding back. It's a little bit cagey. We'll have to see how this plays. 2 UAVs now up on the Drapeau Blanc side. Not seeing any counterfire. 1 UAV up on the Widowmaker side. Neither team shooting at the enemy UAVs at this stage, but there is an exchange of artillery and air. Just seeing some grazes. Eclipse Solar on the Drapeau side down at 83%. Looks like he may have caught one of those at some point. Widowmakers, on the other hand, seeing very little damage. Strimrong now just seeing 8% tick off there. Pretty indecisive at this stage. They, despite the assertion they're both going to go for it, neither team willing to cede an advantage this early on in the game, it seems. Just a little bit of peeking and poking here. Can see some jump jets being used to good effect there by Fritzor, just trying to get that slightly elevated eye line and get a peek over at the Drapeau line. But as I take you in here, you can see if we get the camera down to mech level, there is no way they can see the other team at this stage of the match. Until the teams mutually decide to giving on an engagement, which is now happening. We now have what looks like a Drapeau push. It looks like Drapeau are going to make a push of this, although they are now backing it up again. Our CWM going to counter push. Looks like they're both going to flank out wide here. Still nothing conclusive on the damage. Worst mech in the match is Stimraug for the Widowmakers on 79. Actually now, Nanui dropping to 68. That's the Bushwhacker, so potentially that Bushwhacker on the Drapeau side might be the first to go. Been seeing them move a little bit more aggressively than the rest of the team. Again, we see them coming around on the lead now as well. They're now taking the other flank, coming quite high on that berm. Obviously using those nose-mounted weapons. They are using heavy ballistic mounts, looks like, in the nose of that Bushwhacker. To me, it looks like they might even be Ultra 10s, looking at the profile, so they're anxious to get those weapons into effect, but it is coming at cost to his armor. Okay, so we have Widowmakers coming all the way around the flank, just continuing to trade either side of one of these snow berms. We're just starting to see continuous direct fire now, again, and I'm going to say that Bushwhacker is going to be the first to go. That's fairly aggressive play. That being said, we are seeing damage start to accrue on Nico on the Widowmakers team, also down to 60%. Overall now, I'd actually say, I mean, to be honest, it's very even. It's going to depend which team starts losing mechs first, but I'd say the Widowmakers are actually now getting the worst of it. First mech down below 50 there, Nico. Fritzor also showing at 66% with a red light that's indicating severe damage somewhere to that chassis. Okay, we now have close range. We have close range engagement. This is going to lead to a kill. There we go. 3 Popul goes down first with Nico close behind that. 7s each side. Seeing if we can get on Lanswen here. Lanswen being opened up from multiple angles there. Widowmaker's excellent positioning to get in there and make that kill. And again, the mislinks of Yuan Harox also coming in a bit deep there and being overrun. But while I say that, Drapeau are making it back up, and Widowmakers are now actually tailing by 1. A lot of smoke here, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of smoke, lots of dead mechs in very close proximity. The teams are now pretty much deciding to brawl this out. We're not seeing much in the way of wider tactical movement. Now, 4-3 in the favour of Drapeau. That being said, I'm seeing Score Scream there, still green light in his mislinks on 78%. Are we going to see a light mech comeback here in the first drop? The Thule there and the Wolfhound just a little bit cut off, dueling with that mislinks. And indeed, Drapeau now down to 28%, 27 on Eclipse. Drapeau on their last mech, Natuli, and that's match. Clan Widowmaker take a stunning comeback there, I'd have to say. I was not feeling great for them in the middle of that one. With 3 mechs up, both teams taking their bonus. Both teams will take the 5 points there. We go early on, we go 8 kills. And we go to Match win. Not on time, but on a complete wipe for the losing side. Alright, so having a very brief look there, that's the wrong map, that's not going to help us any. We're looking for Polar Highlands. Let's have a look at some Polar Highlands. That one might become more relevant later. Post up in the stream if you recognise it, why not? There we go, let's have a look at some Polar Highlands domination. So, you know, all that activity basically was focused in this core area. Early on we saw a lot of trading back and forth across this berm, and to a certain extent this berm over here. Very cagey play. But ultimately, after a while, the teams pretty much got into it, and we realistically saw a pretty even-sided ball until it all fell apart. Rotating continually, more or less rotating continually around the centre there. Both teams anxious to make sure they retain possession of the objective, but fundamentally focused on outright destruction of the opposition. So I don't think we'll dwell on that. That's we're not going to learn much from the map on that one. It's usually a pretty straight-up fight at the start of the match. So let's go across. Let's have a look at what we can expect in drop 2. So there we go. Early doors, we're seeing some split scores there. We're seeing Clan Widowmaker Epsilon Galaxy showing us 350 on my screen, and Japao Blanc looking there to pick up, according to this, and I haven't verified this, but according to the scoring system I have here, it looks like they'll pick up 175 for their 5 kills, 25 ref apiece for the kills, and then the extra 50 for their bonus. So Clan Widowmaker take an early lead, and that's a 1-0 in tonight's series. I will remember to click the right button in a minute. So it looks like we're seeing some changes here. Again, I won't spoil on what we are, but I am seeing some changes here among the different pilots. So we'll see what's afoot with that there. So next up, Alpine Peaks Conquest. First of our Conquest maps for the evening. Recon Enforced, 2 lights, 4 mediums, 2 heavies, no assaults for this match. Same duplication rules as before. You have to have 7 chassis. And then you are allowed a single duplicate as your 8th, all consumables in play. And again, those 50 valuable bonus rep points going for destruction of 5 enemy mechs. Interesting map here, the Conquest situation. I think probably we have time here to just have a little look at it. We're gonna pull this up here. There we go. We'll pull that up there. You've got these broadly 4 points located around the valley, which for most of the Conquest fights on this map will be the key objectives. Will we see somebody go out wide? That is the question. Is somebody going to be bold and go for an early cap on Gamma? Will we see a light skirmish at Gamma to try to lock out that additional point? Which points will we see we go for? If we're seeing teams like the Alpha Drop Zones, you might reasonably expect the Alpha Drop Zones would be used for that early Gamma rush. So it will be interesting to see if either team does select that option, or whether we see Bravo and Charlie drops being preferred for the teams. Certainly for Team 1, Blue Team, Charlie and Bravo give them some pretty good firing lines from the outset. For Team 2, the Red Team, their Charlie point just off to that left flank a bit. There are some options there to move through terrain to the Sigma point. So, again, are they going to go for formation movement, or will we see an early split for the cap points followed by an attempt to grind out the clock? Again, just waiting now. We'll go ahead and do the raffle. I'm just realizing I probably should have started that a little bit earlier on. We're gonna go ahead there. We'll set the giveaway. Let's add the viewers. We'll have the MRBC channel. If you're currently in the MRBC channel, congratulations! It is going to pick you up for this giveaway of a 24-hour premium code time. 24-hour premium time code. One of those things. I'll go ahead and draw that while we wait. Ooh, oops, we can't retrieve data from MRBC's Twitch channel. Well, that's unfortunate. May have a small technical issue here, guys. Apologies, this was working earlier when we checked it. We'll give that another go. Meanwhile, I'm starting to see green lights. Green lights out of the board. About half the players ready now. No, it seems we have a technical hold there on the prize draw, ladies and gents. Apologies for that. I will have somebody see what we can do about that. Drapower Blanc now showing set and ready, and asking Widowmakers the question, are Widowmakers nearly ready? Looks like they may well be. Apologies, guys, just in the background there, just hitting up some of my tech support there, just see if somebody can shed some light on why we might not perhaps be having that prize draw just yet. I do promise we'll figure out some way of doing it, even if I have to roll several D100s and count back up the list or something. We'll do something interesting, but hopefully we'll get that sorted. In the meantime, Alpine Peaks, we are now getting ready to go again with drop number 2. Okay, so we're in, dropping at the northern side there with the camera. Again, you see here the Epsilon point pretty close in, and then Sigma, Theta, and Kappa almost claustrophobically tight, according to the map. But bearing in mind, this battlefield is a fairly large one, so they can be deceptive. You can easily get your mechs cut off and out of position if you don't follow the tactical position of the enemy. Again, early on, I'm going to say, the interest is, are we going Gamma? Is anybody going to throw out to Gamma? I'm looking down now. Apologies, we'll have the scoreboards there. I'm looking down now at Widowmakers. Trying to zero in on their mechs. There we go. Mechs coming around. And again, we're seeing some pretty direct movement forwards there by the Widowmakers. Nothing going Gamma from their side. But as I say that, I see Drapower with 2 mechs on the minimap there. 2 mechs look like they may well be considering it. Now, is that too many? I mean, they may be countering a light that just isn't there from the Widowmaker side. They may be about to detach 2 mechs, a Mistlinks and an Assassin I'm seeing, to take an objective that just isn't defended. In fact, I'm seeing the whole Drapower team now spreading out. Looks like they're planning to play the cap game. However, Widowmakers, a solid ball. I only see 2 mechs slightly off to the flank there, and already smoke going out there. We see Beryl and the Wolfhound attracting some fire. Unfortunately, no hits. So let's have a look at what mechs we've got. We've got dupe Hunchbacks for Drapower over there. Looking to the other side, it looks like they have opted for... Wow, okay, dupe are linebackers. So, despite the fact I'm saying Widowmakers might be looking for the more combat-orientated mode, they have opted for 2 very fast clan-heavy mechs there. We already see a 2-cap up for Drapower. Obviously, they have taken that Gamma point. Somebody is going for the hard cap on that. I would say that's a mistake. They haven't identified any Widowmaker mechs in that vicinity. That should be a sliver and done. And as I say it, we see him start to move off. So we now see a sliver hold on Epsi for Drapower, but a solid hold on Gamma. Realistically, nobody's going to change that out. So I'd say it's now on the Widowmakers to take advantage of the tactical position. They have a solid ball, albeit slightly enclosed. The Drapower mechs, frankly, don't look like they have any common maneuvering plan at this stage, I would have to say. Nobody making a serious push on Theta. Despite the cap, it looks like Widowmakers might be trying to make this one and done. They are going to get straight into this fight here. Looking to my rear now, I see two of the Widowmaker maps. That's Foxy and Aquintis taking on... no, apologies, that's Foxy and Meerkats taking on Aquintis, down 42%. They're breaking off there. Looking at Aquintis, let's see, I'm going to expect a sticked mech here. And indeed, 0 ERPPCs. That was an ERPPC build, it's not anymore. That being said, are we seeing the Widowmakers make a slight misplay here, not finishing that? Normally sticked mech, fine, leave it, but they are now positioning for Theta. Are we giving them... are we expecting to see a free run here by Aquintis to pick up that cap point? Because that could be costly if Widowmaker can't convert on this. That being said, we are now 6 and 7, so 5 and 7 as he says it. That's Japao Blanc now down to 5 mechs for Aquintis, not long for this world and without any weaponry. Seeing no significant damage on the Widowmakers, perhaps apart from Fritzor there. Fritzor looks like an early casualty. I don't know if he is indeed taking the lead of their call. I know he is listed as one of their team leads, but I don't know if he's taking the lead of their call tonight. Perhaps leading from the front there. But it looks like this is going to end pretty briskly now. I mean, that's massively outnumbered. That assassin there with 3 people. Some great twisting and jump jet work there, trying to get the mech out, and indeed getting some cover there, but I just don't see them being tactically relevant from that position. There is nowhere for them to go cap-wise, and the board is still only in the earliest stages of ticking over. We're not even seeing 250 up on the board, so it would look to me like Widowmakers have got this. 6 and 4, Foxy and the Mistlings having gone down there. Now seeing only 3 for Japao. This looks like it may well be the start of a 2-0 for the Widowmakers. Again, what we're looking for now is, can Japao pick up, I mean, it's an ask, could they pick up 3 more kills to get their bonus points? I'm going to say no, they're down to the last one there. This is pretty comprehensive, actually. We're not even seeing a significant amount of damage there on the Widowmakers mechs. So, while I applaud Japao for trying to play the game mode there was certainly some early intent to cap. I think they probably spent too long on that. I'm going to go ahead and say that they didn't respond to Clan Widowmakers' pretty much openly declared intent not to play the cap game but to fight. By the time Japao realised that, just too little, too late, and we see a definitive then win there for the Widowmakers. Just on what I said earlier there, again you see there the 3-4-1 formation from the Widowmakers. Niku perhaps just covering off the flank there, but the 2-3-3 formation does indeed confirm that we were expecting Japao to play the cap game. Just unfortunate there, it did not work out for them. So, going into drop 3, this is now, I'd say this now has to be crunch time. Early on with that taking that 2-0, Frozen City is now going to be probably the big match of the night. That being said, every single MRBC match is notionally a win-lose, but you can always earn rep points. The season is decided, I believe, on the reputation points. So even if a team goes 3 or even 4 down over a night, still plenty for them to play for. And we would hope to see them doing so in order that they get the best possible chance of earning back some more points. Again, just flipping back to the map strat again there. Ignore the orange. I mean, honestly, we saw Widowmakers just push straight through that. They picked up Kappa. I mean, why wouldn't they? They walked straight past it, but we didn't even see them swing wide for Theta or Sigma. All we saw pretty much was a concerted push up through the EPSI point. We saw a brawl around this position. My pen will catch up. And then ultimately hooking actually back into the drop zone. So again, Widowmakers very much taking the advantage there. Japao did detach early on. They detached mechs out towards the Gamma point. There was a brief hold while they scouted it. Obviously they wouldn't have seen anything. Nonetheless caused them to delay briefly before moving mechs onto Gamma. And then obviously you had to have those come back pretty quickly from that location, rejoin the fight. But by then, frankly, the Japan mechs were scattered all across the battlefield. Again, a bit of a delay there on the drawing, but yeah, very spaced out around that central core. Had they got some back shots in, we might just have seen it count for them. But no, Widowmaker's taking that one. And, yeah. Map strat, apparently not my friend there for a second. So let's go across the pre-drop. Okay, so this is the biggie. As I say, this may now be a decisive one. We have Commander Assassination. No lights in this one. We have 3 mediums, 4 heavies, and an assault. The assault class mech must be either an Atlas, a King Crab, or a Direwolf. Some very interesting things across the board here in the different leagues and different divisions. Where do you take that 100-tonner? Seeing a lot of Direwolves for the clan firepower, but just saying, guys, Atlas D, I mean, always fancying me some army. You can get a 160 front plate on that. Given the bonus points are for looking after that command mech, be curious to see if the teams do indeed favour the firepower advantage, or someone plays the defensive battle and up armors that commander going the Atlas route. Not seeing a King Crab. Got to be honest, somebody on the stream contradict me here, but if anyone wants to play King Crab commander for this game mode, suggestions. You can perhaps get more firepower if you're going to go the Inner Sphere route, but then you can go the clan route, so perhaps why would you? Again, notionally a conquest game. I would say here, Widowmaker's not got a lot to question there. Their strategy worked. I'd expect to see them probably repeating that. Question is, are Japao going to back themselves to improve on the previous strategy, to go with a cap game and run that effectively, or are they instead going to switch back and try to beat Widowmakers at their own games? Are they even going to swap strategies completely? Might we now see the Widowmakers do the cap game to try to wrong foot a slower push in by the Japao guys? We just don't know. I have 8 green and 8 green, so it looks like we are going to go for another quick one here, guys. The team's really keeping the pace tonight. We've only been coming up the half hour and already going for drop 3, so both teams keen to get in and get some points on the board. Just realising I haven't updated my scoreboard there. Apologies. Just a final look then at that scoreboard. Japan now 525 rep. Oh, that's not right. That's definitely not right. Apologies. Oh dear. There was going to be one, guys. There was going to be one on my first stream there. So getting the teams a little back to front there. No, so Japao only showing, in fact, 225 rep. Clan Widowmaker already having 700 locked in. Switch across to the drop. As we come in, again, over the points, much more symmetric on this map. We see 5 points spaced out around the map. Just waiting for the dropships to come in now. And to me, it looks like both teams have gone 4 and 4. I'm seeing 4 on both ships. Only seeing 2 ships aside. So perhaps we are going to see a combat-orientated route. Okay, so, and having said what I said, Fritzl there with the King Crab for the Widowmakers. On the other side, Natalai doing the Direwolf. Just looking here for the dupes, it looks like we have Hellbringer dupe for the Japao guys. And just looks like the teams are going to pick up their points there. Clan Widowmaker are pushing around for the capital point, so a little more guarded. On the other side, again, I'm seeing a bit of indecision on the Japao front. They stood fairly close to the EPSI point, but I'm not seeing anyone detached to pick it up. Again, no lights available here, but by now I'd be expecting a medium, and yes, there goes a medium. We're seeing a Stormcrow Raptor, probably getting about 109k in that, swinging out for the EPSI point, whilst Overwatch starting to be provided by his colleagues across the middle. Seeing a laser trading, and a huge strike there. That was really good strike thrown out by Widowmakers. probably deserved a bit more there, I'd say. It's managed to get a good clip on 4 of them, but for a couple of meters, that could have been truly devastating. And again, seeing another one come over. Widowmakers, fair to say, using a lot of strikes tonight. They are not shy of throwing out those strikes, certainly early in the game, perhaps using that to get a bit of attrition early on, put the opponents towards the back foot. That being said, Nico losing those trades with the ER lasers. I'm seeing 77% now for Nico, trying to pick up where they are for you. So, yep, Nico at the forefront on the top there in the Jag B. Hasn't come off well in those trades. See if we can pick up the details for you here. So, looks like they got caught out from behind. So maybe friendly fire, unlikely. Probably just turned that little bit far away from the opposition there, and caught some backfire. Unfortunate. Mostly laser vomit there, though. We're seeing obviously 4 large on that particular chassis. So Nanuli coming in hard in the Hellbringer there. Down to 56%. It looks like the teams are now going to make a play, perhaps for Theta, or maybe just to find out where the others are. We're seeing the Widowmakers holding back. They have a UAV up, and they seem to be asking the question of Drapau. Are Drapau going to come in? Drapau responding, they are indeed. Although, again, strung out, and I'm seeing the command mech, Natoli, at the back there. Is they going to get picked up? We do see, yep, and indeed we see from the Widowmakers, Assassin, Arctic Wolf, and another Arctic Wolf, so duping Arctic Wolves. They are going for the kill on that commander. This will be quick and it will be decisive. Drapau mechs now pretty much committed to a line engagement. We're seeing Harox turn back there to try to pull some fire off his commander, but that's too late. The command mech goes down, and I'm going to say Harox is going to go down very shortly as well. Are we seeing anything on the other engagement? We're seeing Fritzl in the King Crab there, giving out the damage, not taking a great deal. Fritzl playing cautiously in that command mech. Widowmakers perhaps clean for their bonus. Have a quick look here. What have we got? We have 3 ER large and 2 Gauss on that. So again, a range trade build there from Fritzl, just being used to stand off in that role. May well be calling for his team as the ball develops. We are 3 mechs down for Drapau, 1 mech down for the Widowmakers. Good amount of fire being exchanged here. I'd really like to see the Drapau guys come back into this, get some more points just for the kills and their rep status. Stimraug there down to 37. He might yet get picked off. Although, again, looking for him now, I don't see him in the main fight. See if we can identify where he's gone. There he is, in the Night Guy, hiding a little in the dropship there. Stimraug continuing to be relevant there, though, right up until his death. PPC trade, peek and trade. We might just see another couple of kills here, I think, at the death before regrettably the Drapau guys again going down. So another decisive. That's going to be an 8-2, I think. Yep. So again, Widowmakers I think just being that little bit more prepared to stick as a group. They didn't feel pressured on the caps there. It was 2 caps apiece. And they were able just to I'd say brawl it out. I mean, they showed willingness there with the range trade builds to consider a different strategy, but ultimately they realised they had the high ground. They realised there wasn't a tactical imperative to get down off it, and they were prepared for Drapau to push into them and make a fight of it up close. Looking at the team stats there, some really big numbers coming in for Score Scream, 765. Got a touch on all the mechs there. As did Stimraug. Obviously, Stimraug there from EMP, so we know there's some experience there, even if he's just hanging out with the other guys. By contrast, obviously, just seeing very low assist rates on the Drapau side, just because of the number of kills. But just across the board there, less damage being dealt across the board, pretty much. I would say that's partly positioning. I'd say partly it's the time to kill they're suffering. There's very little you can do if your mechs are killed that fast. So let's have a quick look here at the map strategy. So that was Frozen City Conquest. Apologies, the pen that seems to be stuck on. So again, we saw early on, Japao gathering up around Gamma, and again a hold before they eventually sent somebody out to the EPSI point. We then saw them come across through the ground, pretty much go past Theta. There was a brief fight at Theta, ultimately hooking around the F5 side, and then effectively there was a little bit of a split as we saw them come up round to the dropship. The majority of their mechs taking the southern side. Widowmaker, meanwhile, had split early on. There was an early push round to the Kappa point, which then doubled back on itself, detaching the medium mechs who would go around towards that Delta 5 point, where we saw the commander kill crucially back down at the bottom. Then into the back of the fight, and at that point, again, we saw the Widowmakers essentially surround the Japao mechs and very quickly turn the attrition against them. Gonna have another go with this giveaway here. I'm not quite sure what the hold on that was, but let's see if we can. Let's see if we might now get some joy with the giveaways. And yeah, there we go. Somebody has indeed prompted me. It is indeed MRBC League. That's why we're not getting anybody. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna draw. I'm going to draw that 24-hour code. In fact, I'm going to do 2 draws now. So let's just have 2 draws. So for a 24-hour code, super awesome giveaway time. See what it's going to roll up for us. And congratulations there to Cogwhistle. Cogwhistle, if you can contact me, send me a PM there, I will try and get you your code. And again, noting the delay there, I'm just going to launch straight ahead, and we'll have a mech bay as well. Can Cogwhistle double down on the good old random number generator here? Let's see. Meanwhile, looking at the guys form up again, we're seeing the Japao guys quick to form up, actually, as our Clan Widowmaker. Both teams still keen, it seems. Wanting to see Japao come back into this, get some... I don't think they can now take the match, but we could well see them pick up some significant rep if they can find a strategy that will work against this very tight Widowmaker team. There we go, and if you can contact me again for the prize there, NG. We're going straight into drop 4. Again, Conquest Crimson straight now, so the heat profile up a little bit. This is a fairly heat neutral map, but warmer than the ones the teams have been fighting so far tonight. Will that affect their mech choices? Let us see. Okay, so we're seeing flank engagement, the most balanced of the matches we'll see tonight. 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, and 2 assaults. Again, in that conquest setting. I'm going to call it now. I don't think we're going to see much actual conquest. Maybe somebody will swing out early for EPSI, but I wouldn't want to put many of my C-bills on that at this stage of the fight. That being said, Widowmaker doing the 3-drop. We're on the Japao side of the map here. But we are seeing a Widowmaker early on with the 3-drop. And again, looking to see if they have indeed opted for a duplicate. And from what I'm seeing, Arctic Cheetahs choosing to double the lights there on the Japao side. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Twin Mad 2s. Twin Mad 2s. I wonder what they might be carrying. Let's see if we can get a peek. So yeah, Widowmaker mixing it up here, seeing two mics, Mistlinks and the Arctic Cheetah there rushing out towards EPSI, where we see only a sole Japao mech That's Harox. So perhaps Harox not calling this one. Not sure again who's calling that one. And Harox looks like getting out of it. Looks like he may well have seen them on approach there, getting behind the building. Then doubling back. Harox perhaps not quite sure here. Is waiting to see what's going to happen. Foxy trying for him, missing. Is that a tiny cap? Tiny cap there. Little sliver for Widowmaker. Is Harox going to come back in for it, or is he now going to join the main fight? Meanwhile, an island push here by Widowmaker. So it looks like Widowmaker might be trying for the 3 cap points on this side of the map, and then it looks like they may well entrench here again. Fairly consistent strategy from them. Get a good group of mechs together, focus the fire, and in this case they have the advantage of a lot of open ground, basically a killing zone there in the water. Only advantage to the water, it makes you slightly harder to target. Your legs certainly not easy to pick off in the water, and for clan mechs with the double heat sinks in the leg, a very slight cooling efficiency boost. But ultimately, I wouldn't want to try to push those guys off the island. Japao, though, looks like not going for it. Japao, learning from the previous engagements, also holding a pretty tight ball here. Somebody has indeed managed to briefly flip that Epsi cap back. Epsi now showing no cap. Not quite sure who rushed to get that one, but well done to them. It is a 2 cap apiece match. Scoreboard just gently ticking over, and I think we may now see a slower paced engagement. Again, Widowmaker, just a couple of mates coming forwards there, perhaps to assert their hold on Kappa. Just having a look, it's a linebacker and a huntsman, so that's a heavy and a medium, not an insignificant amount of firepower. Unknown if they're aware of Berol here in the Arctic Cheetah. Pushing up that mountain, curious of the build. If it's not a sniper build, I'm unclear why they're doing that. Heavy machine guns and small lasers. I mean, if they can get in the back of one of the Widowmaker mechs, that could potentially be devastating. But I'm going to call and say he's spending a lot of time getting up that hill to little reward at this stage. That being said, basically just trading going on, and in fact, looking across the bay there, not even a heavy trade. Some fairly slow rates of fire. Curiously, a tag, I believe they're seeing a tag flash into life. Not quite sure why that would be being deployed. Curious to see, are we going to see ATMs perhaps? Is there an ATM mech on one of these teams? Looked like it probably came from the Japao guys. Yeah, Huntsman Prime there with the tag laser. Let's have a look. We are seeing a tag and 2 ATM-12s on Natuli there. So, Natuli with the ATM-12s, that could be a very, very dangerous surprise. That being said, the tag in use very early there without any actual exchange of fire from the ATM launchers, almost advertising their use. I mean, there's very few other weapon systems you're going to run with that loadout, with a tag in use in a competitive mode. Foxy there looks like to be pushing through the tunnel. See if we can get down there. Yep, Foxy making a hard push through the tunnel. Perhaps going to go and see if we got any just recon at this stage. Interesting, the Widowmakers have now split essentially into 2 lances. Japao, similarly, just a little strong out there. That light still seems to be giving Overwatch. Again, no actual weapons up there, and no real reason for ranged support. They are now coming down off the hill, so are we going to see Berol here make good on that build's potential with a kill? But no! Captain Woodstock wise to it there. SOM's coming in off that, and Berol taking some heavy hits, albeit damaging Score Scream quite significantly there into the deal. See if we can chase this down, but no, Berol on the run, having to disengage from that unfavourable lineup. Ultimately, that probably didn't hurt them that much. There was no comprehensive push in the meantime, so Berol perhaps getting off a little lightly there, and the Japao guys continuing to hold a reasonably tight-knit formation, albeit slowly spreading into individual elements. I'd like to see, if they're going to try for the cap at this point, I would like to see a Japao mech moving to Epsi as soon as possible. That's realistically the only way they're going to play the cap game. Looks like Widowmaker might be almost tempting them with that lance in the middle there. 4 on the island, 4 here. Widowmaker perhaps risking that lance just to keep some pressure on, securing the knowledge that the 4 on the island can draw out the clock, which at the moment does favour Widowmakers. Looking at the damage, though, we may be selling Dropout just that a little bit short, seeing more red and orange lights. The percentages look good for both sides, but I'm seeing more Widowmaker mechs with internal damage on that board. So perhaps, just perhaps, we've got Dropout here winning some trades and just opening up a few panels on the Widowmaker mechs. Can they convert that for a win? Again, if we were listening at this point, they may be aware of that. If they are aware that there's more open sections on the other side, I would like to see them thinking about a push. And indeed, we are starting to just see them suggesting that they might try this somewhat covered route over to the island. It's not ideal, but Dropout mechs maneuvering as if that might be their next idea. Unfortunately now, of course, with the Widowmakers on both sides, they are at risk of taking damage on multiple axes, so curious how that will play for them. The Thule pushing forwards aggressively now in the Huntsman, perhaps deciding it's time to have a go here. Can they get an easy kill on one of those damaged mechs? Berol on Fritzl and then Stamraug on Berol. First blood very quickly for both teams, now at 7 each. ATM's going away there, and indeed Nico paying the price there for that ATM build, and it may well be now. I'm going to say Natuli certainly making a bid here for mech of the round, if not mech of the match, with some very rapid, aggressive maneuvering and firepower. Stimrag, though, the more heavily armoured assault mech there, not taking quite as much damage. Looking for where Natuli's gone. That's good repositioning. I've managed to lose them here, even with my omnipresent camera. Taking cover there behind the mountain. Curious to see if all the ATMs are still available, and indeed they are. Lots of damage across the mech, but no actual fundamental loss of weapon systems yet, and it does look like Widowmaker have lost that central position on the island. Down 4 now to 2. Are we going to see Stimraug, though, coming back? Stimraug coming back on the Newly. So that's 5 and 4. Widowmakers have the cap advantage, and they have enough of a cap advantage now. We're about to see them go to 600, that I think we need a very quick decision from the Dropout guys. Are they going to try and counter that cap lead, or are they going to go very quickly for the remaining mechs? Widowmaker perhaps reading the match here, and again, in this case, taking advantage of their split position. 2 of their mechs off to the side there. Stimraug overheating and destroying themselves. Raptor nearly taken out, but not quite. Fair to say the island force here for Widowmaker is selling itself expensive. Wow, okay, we have a cap race on by the look of it. I see two of the Widowmaker mechs going to Gamma. That's a certain flip for them in very short order. How good is Dropout's coordination? Can Dropout sweep up all 4 points here? Already 1 at Sigma. Looking at their stats, they did lose both Arctic Cheetahs, so we're not going to see a lot of rapid movement here that they might well need. Natuli in the Huntsman, I think still mobile last I checked. Indeed, they are the one on Sigma. At this point, both teams will be watching the gauges. They'll be seeing those flashes, and they'll be seeing which points are up for the cap. 691. I'd say this probably is Widowmakers now. We haven't seen a solid attempt to repel the caps. Probably needed the faster make to Kappa on reflection, but it's very hard in the middle of these fights to call which way you're going to go. 7-10 there coming up Widowmakers now. Their 2 mechs in firm control of Gamma, and fortunately I can't see Dropout pulling this back. That being said, they have picked up 6 kills, so that is all worth reputation for them. Nice to see the Dropout guys coming out on top of the fight, if unfortunately not the battle. Again, the teams pretty much know it now. We're not seeing a great deal of movement. They all know this is going to go the conquest clock. They have slimly held cap on Kappa there, and actually, whoa, late we see Foxy and Raptor going at it there in the dying seconds. They've got probably 10 seconds or less. Can they finish off Foxy for another kill here, the Dropout guys? Foxy getting in there with the MGs. Don't know if Raptor actually has much in the way of weaponry left at this point. 6 ER mediums, 6 ER large even, wow. Not quite getting the kill, but very good by both teams there. A more tactically considered game there, interesting to see. And Conquest being played to effect. Just goes to show, you know, I'm wrong. Completely wrong there. I said we'd see another pretty to the point match, and no, going on the caps there. More kills falling to the Drapow guys, picking up 6 of their opponents for only 3 losses. But the win, again, going the way of Clan Widowmaker. Bonus points there for destruction of heavies and assault mechs. Looks like the bonus does indeed go to the Drapow guys. I'm going to call that as a bonus for them. I'm only seeing an Arctic Cheetah and a Mistlinks surviving on the other side. And obviously, Clan Widowmaker not able to exchange that. So, Drapow guys, good solid work with the kills and picking up their bonus. So that will do their standing a lot of good as we move forwards throughout the league. Okay, so Drapow now, 475 rep. Clan Widowmaker have indeed taken this match at this stage. 1350 on the rep, 4-0. Can Drapow pull it back for 1? Can we see one more come up at the end there? Saying on the chat there, some of you saying Epsilon didn't flip. Interesting. There's a few different things happening there. Just seeing that back. You guys are now seeing the main part of that match. Whilst the rest we move ahead into the next drop. So again, map strat there, that's not the right map strat. I wish it would just update automatically. I've got to figure out a way to make it do that. Looking for Crimson Strait Conquest. Crimson Strait Conquest. So, early rush across by Widowmaker to try to grab the Epsi point. Countered in part by a quick movement by a single mech Huron from the Drapow guys. Brief skirmish at Epsi, ultimately inconclusive, I would have said. Followed by which we saw the Widowmakers essentially take up an entrenched position here and subsequently detach another 4 mechs over here. The Drapow guys forming an effective firing line and holding position in the city, holding on to certainly Theta and resisting a cap on Epsi. 1 light mech, again for the Drapow side, spending a lot of time getting over that hill, ultimately coming in on the rear edge of this formation here. For Clan Widowmaker as that pushed forwards. Again, inconclusive. We ultimately saw the Drapow mech bail out forwards. Drapow eventually forming a push around through the relatively dead ground here and onto the island, eliminating forces there. Meantime, unfortunately, Clan Widowmaker able to brawl it out and ultimately detach 2 mechs over to Gamma and hold on for the cap victory. So that was your story of Drop 4. Okay, just a reminder, guys, if you had won one of those codes, do contact me. I haven't got any private messages, or perhaps, okay, of course, it's not my stream. Perhaps the MRBC guys have received those, but if you were the recipient of one of those earlier giveaways, please do contact one of the MRBC mods, and we will get you that code. We do have the grand prize for tonight. I have 1000 MC code to give away at the end of this game. And for those of you sticking around for a little bit of the afterwards and maybe an interview, I might just have an urban mech going spare. Everybody needs an urban mech. It's a trash can, let's be honest, but they're very well armoured trash cans. And surprised not to see any actually today. Often see some of those as the lights in the more brawly matches. Okay, so we're just looking at the board here. Again, some changes being made. Looks like both teams considering how they're going to make best use of this last drop. Obviously now not for the match, but for those crucial reputation points. 2 lights, no mediums, 2 heavies, and 4 assaults. The bonus points going if you can bring down all of your enemy assault mechs. Just gonna have a quick look at the chat here. We do have a brief pause. Snacks bar party time. Yep, plenty of additional commentary there. Some good points. Could have kept Epsi and had more pressure for the other team to push hard out from the island. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Drapow had a very good position. I think they could have drifted a little. I'm going to say they almost played themselves there. Perhaps having lost earlier on to becoming too spread. I would imagine their drop caller may have been focusing on getting the team that little bit tighter and perhaps passed up that tactical opportunity. at the end, would that have made a difference? Quite possibly. Final score just coming up as I watch it on the replay. Actually, 622 to the Drapau guys. So perhaps if they had that mid-match flip, it would have gone differently. Okay, I'm seeing 8 green. 8 green again from the Drapau guys. Only 2 are readied up on the Widowmaker side. Interesting to see what the plans revolve around here. Rubelite Oasis, a recently cooled Rubelite Oasis as of the patch yesterday. We're down to 59 degrees centigrade, so nice balmy Saharan conditions over on Rubelite. Okay, starting to see the Widowmakers readying up there now. Again, Conquest, same rules as before, guys. You know the stick by now. We're allowed 8 mags. Only one of them can be a duplicate. No requirement in this one for any of them to be dictated, not like the command mech in 3. Rubelite, interestingly, of tonight's maps, perhaps offering a bit more verticality in its environment than we've seen on the other maps. I'll go on you, Crimson Straight, top deck, lower deck can be a choice, but the team's manoeuvring in such a way that became a bit of a moot issue. On this one, will we see people going high, going low? Will we see a cap game? Will we see a kill-led game? If I was to Drapau guys at this point, probably not going to get much for the match, so I'd be trying to get those bonus points. If I was Drapau, I'd be playing for those 4 assault mechs. Equally, if I'm Widowmaker, well, same goes. You know, they've already got a big pile of reputation points there, but you can always have some more. So, again, in this caster's opinion, we're going to see a fight here. I think both teams are going to go out for a bang. But just maybe we'll see somebody making a point of playing the cap game, either to build on their experience as they go on through the league, or just, you know, again, for that little bit of surprise. Perhaps, you know, if I can figure it's probably a fight, there's equal chance somebody will figure, well, hey, let's do a cap. Okay, coming into the drop here now. Looks like we are on the side of... looks like we're going to be on Drapau's side, seeing the Widowmaker dropships just that little bit earlier there. It's interesting, the dropships slightly out of sync with each other. I wonder if PGI have measured that on the walk distances and whether there's some significance to that. Perhaps somebody with some deep meta knowledge can throw that one up for me on the chat there. Is there significance to the order the dropships drop in relative to their objectives? Both teams, obviously, a free cap on this map. Don't expect to see anything other than roll through that. Will they hard cap it? I would. I mean, you're close enough, but the Drapau guys there pretty much just rolling through Gamma for a 3/4 cap, which, to be honest, is likely to be good enough. Pulling up the boards now. Let's have a look at what we've got. So, an Annihilator for SHD2, and looking to see have they duped that. They have indeed. Twin Annihilators going down there for SHD2. And on the other side, we're looking for a dupe. We see a Kodiak and a Mad Cat, so they're not duping the Assault Zap for Widowmakers. Linebackers, again for the Widowmakers. Linebackers, so perhaps suggestive of an attempt to get in there early and get the caps. Let's see where those are. Foxy and Mike, again, the Mislinks Arctic Cheetah pair there, suggesting Widowmaker. Perhaps those two like running those light mechs together. And Captain Woodstock and Nico, as I called it, looks like they're detaching there and trying for not a flanking push for Kappa, but a high pass. Looks like they're going to try to set up over here, perhaps onto these guys. Crucially, those Annihilators, albeit SHD2, wires to that, already putting some suppressing fire out onto the position. Teams essentially rotating around each other at this point. If they are going to make it a cap game, it looks like Widowmakers have managed to get in for Theta. Fairly heavy exchange of fire across there now, so it's going to be difficult for either team to cap or uncap that position. I'd say initiative now, Widowmaker. See how the Drapau guys respond to this. Twin Annihilators, though, can't be knocked. Again, my own unit, represented in the North American division at the weekend, dropped Twin Annihilators and made a very good use of them, putting out some big numbers, coming back. First Crucis Recon, coming back for a 2-3 loss, unfortunately, from my perspective. But I think anyone watching would agree it made for some very good viewing. Looking at this map, Kodiak 3, Score Scream getting picked up in the middle there. A lot of damage going in his chassis. Ultimately, I suspect he's just been caught ever so slightly out of position. Continuing to trade, though, there with Eclipse. Mad Cat 2 and the linebackers coming through to support him now, though. They're backing him out, wondering if they're trying to save him to protect the bonus points. Let's have a look at his status. Wow, he is hardcore and down to only a couple of guns. So yeah, Kodiak not quite out of it, but not looking particularly useful at this stage. Drapow, interestingly, 3 guys still off at the back and not really looking into the fight. Trying to come around here, and again we're seeing a Mad Dog. Is that another ATM launcher we're seeing in the fight? We are indeed seeing a tag, and then 2 ATM 12s. I mean, that's 10 tons more than they ran on the Hunchman. That being said, you get some more armor to go with it. So, interesting. Drapow are picking up those ATMs. Personally, a favored weapon of mine. You can pull some big shots. Not seeing any EMS in the league at the moment. Is that going to change if the ATM surprise becomes more prevalent? Could be an interesting shift. Fritzor in the Warhawk now down 36%. Beryl in the Arctic Cheetah. It's pretty much a sustained trade. That being said, Widowmaker's now down 2. Scorescream having been picked up, and 80 Hawk. So while we were looking at the Drapow positioning there, actually, despite their facing, it was working for them. They've picked off both those 2 assaults. If they can pick up the other 2 as well. See how we go with that. Really struggling to find something to focus on for you guys in this one. It's a very spread engagement. Again, I said, would we see a high-low game? Would we see verticality? We're definitely seeing it, but I'm not seeing a really concerted effort by either side to control that high ground. Perhaps Drapow now in charge of it, I'd say. Looks like Widowmakers have perhaps been forced downwards, and we're seeing some late strikes used there. Not quite sure by which side or to what effect. Artillery there clipping Nico, so it looks like that was a Drapow strike. And again, those ATMs now coming in. ATMs later in the match when things are already damaged can be devastating. 4 mechs down now. 4 mechs down for the Widowmakers. However, Widowmakers are running the clock. 4-3-3, only 2-3 on the Drapow side. Drapow hopefully not going to be blind to the situation there. Looks like, though, with all of their mechs intact, they will be well positioned to pick up the cap points at the end of the game. Looks like that's their plan. And again, not seeing any assaults on the Widowmaker side. So, Drapow securing their bonus points. Well done to them. We may yet see Drapow come back for this last one. Honestly, couldn't call quite what the decisive factor here was. Perhaps just individual pilot skill winning their trades, winning their brawls. Again, quite a spread fight, but Widowmaker also spreading out. So perhaps Drapow playing more to individual pilot skills, I'd say here. Having broken Clan Widowmaker up, they are actually making very good work of it. Mike Pantera now, the only surviving mech on that side. See if we can get in his cockpit. Nope, that's not his, that's the other side's. And no, we're too late. Where's he gone? Where's he managed to go? That's it. 750. Solid cap out to Drapow for no losses on their side. Well done to them. Excellent seeing them come back at the end there for an 8-0 750. They wrap up the Conquest victory with their remaining numbers there. Okay, so back to the end there. Widowmaker's not advancing their score at all in that last drop, finishing up 1350 rep by my board. Again, subject to some confirmation. And of course, for those of you who don't follow MRBC, or indeed those of you who do, there are some bonus rep points available for the teams if they post videos of the drop from their perspective. I think they can pick up 10 points a drop. So up to 50 points available on the board there if the guys have done a bit of their own video capture. Drapow coming back for a good solid 825 there. I definitely think they demonstrated there's some great individual piloting skills at the end. Widowmaker just caught slightly out of position and gradually coming apart. No real fault. Again, perhaps the nature of the broken terrain on this map just playing slightly against Widowmaker, making it that bit easier for Drapow to break them apart. Just going to load back in now. Going to see. Don't know if any of the guys want to do an interview afterwards. We'll certainly see if Widowmakers want to. I know we have them on TeamSpeak. The Japow guys, don't know if any of them want to come into the MRBC Discord channel. I know they prefer the Discord. Either team wants to do any interviews with us, they're more than welcome to come across. Looking at the board, so we will see Widowmakers stay top of the pile there, stretching out. They'll now have, looks like, over 3,000 rep points. Japow, though, consolidating their hold on second there, certainly until some more matches are played. Crucially, as I say, it's not about necessarily winning the match, it is about making sure you keep getting those rep points over time. Some nice thanks there being passed up. Thanks everyone. Thumbs up from Mike Pantara there. So yeah, both teams seeming to have enjoyed that. Sure, they will both have some debriefs for each other. Meantime, I did promise you 1000 MC gift code. So if you're in the channel now, let's go ahead and do that while I see if somebody might want to come and talk to us. So I'm going to refresh. We will add viewers from MRBC League. If I can spell, if I spell, can indeed, that's always a win. Super awesome giveaway time! And who are we going to have? Oh, Moobot, which I should have removed there. Teasing. Martins, 1000 MC coming your way. Just speak up in chat, let us know you're out there, and you will have 1000. We will see if we can get an interview here, guys. If we can, and you guys just want to stick around, see out the end of this, I may also do one more draw. As I say, I have a celebratory Urban Mech to give away for you guys coming out to support my first stream. As I say, it does mean a lot to me. You have Solaris to play. You may even be able to shoot me in Solaris shortly. Just saying, might be getting on some 1v1. In the meantime, it looks like, it looks like I'm getting pulled up for an interview here. It looks like almost the whole team. CWM, very kind, inviting me over onto their TeamSpeak there, and let's see what they might have to say.
Sound resumed. Microphone activated.
So, guys, 4-1, 4 very solid ones. Look like that fourth, just a slightly more static view, and then that last one, unfortunately, not going your way, but I'd say a very solid result.
Yeah, it worked pretty decently for the first 4. We knew that these guys were hard to fight, and both basically drop 1 could have gone either way. Drop 2 was far more secure. Drop 3 also pretty much secure. Drop 4, like you said, a little bit touchy on some occasions there, and we were glad to have our Brawl Force pretty much alone on the platform and the lights being able to move around. Also the good opportunity that they sent in their lights first.
Yep.
Meaning that when we took out both their lights, our lights did have more free reign, and that gave us a huge opportunity to work with the lights for the cap.
Yeah, but well for you. If you don't have to answer, of course. Was the split of the 2 lances on that drop 4, was that intentional, or was that something you took advantage of as a tactical opportunity as the match developed?
It was part of our initial strategy to have our two mechs at Kappa, and the lights doing that flanking maneuver that they did in the beginning to get Epsilon. Out of that, we did try to have overview on Epsilon with one of our mechs with ERs to make sure that their lights couldn't decap that and take a 3 cap when they managed to take Theta.
Yeah.
So then having that guy overwatching Epsilon and having our lights then move to our other 2 brawlers up on the platform, giving us a second option if they decided to push the island for the brawlers to move in behind, or if they decided to push the brawlers where the island will be able to have support them. Either way.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely worked on the 2 lights at the end there, doing what can often be hard for lights, keeping the lights alive to hold that one out for you in the 4th. over the course of the evening, seeing some very solid group play from CWM Epsilon Galaxy. Notably, your force manoeuvring on the first few maps pretty much cohesively. Early on, not seeing many attempts to go for the caps. A team focus for you guys very much?
We have done most of the cohesion work here as basically move as a unit on more occasions. We have, in the beginning when we were training this, we moved basically as a normal blob of mechs moving and shooting as one. We're now trying to develop our tactics to be able to cover and using more different kind of strategies as seen in basically both drop 2 when we split our forces to go hunt down different mechs, and also in on drop 4 when we decided to then split our forces in two and still have some kind of movement between the two forces if we had to. So it's been something that we've been trying to develop over the years, or so to say months in this case.
Yeah, well, it seems to be working for you guys. One more, because I commented it on the stream if you guys see it back. A king crab as the command mech, Fritzl. What's the logic there? What drove you to the king crab as the commander?
We do have a special pilot that usually have another set of king crab for this map. We were betting on long-range engagement and decided to have a king crab with dual gas and ER larges. Having the ER larges on top of the mech means that we can ridge poke decently. And if we have the opportunity to move up and shoot, we had dual gas going out. Feeling like it's a decent mech, not the mech of choice, but for this kind of engagement, we feel that mech does the job well.
Yeah, so sort of a personal preference, and nothing to knock that. If you've got guys who are good in the chassis, it's always good to see that chassis getting out there. Well, thanks guys. That's been a really solid one. Thank you for letting me come and cast. First time cast for me. Good to see some really engaging gameplay there. You guys kept me pretty busy moving the camera around the map and following you guys. So thank you again, and you now lead the division. So two more for you guys to close it out, maybe.
Hail Piltos.
Yeah, we'll see around it. See if we can do something.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. And if you want to say hi to the stream, and we'll get out your way.
Streamers.
My mom. Hey, Piltos.
Yeah.
Piltos will hail us.
And Piltos is the best, yeah. We have done it for Piltos.
Excellent. Well, I'll let you guys go and get a cold beverage of choice and kick back after that one. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.
Disconnected.
Okay, so let's just see if we can get anything from the Drapow guys. I am trying to hunt them up on Discord as we speak. Meanwhile, I'm just going to check in with the other MRBC guys. Has anyone spoken up for the 1000 MC earlier? Probably only just coming up now. I appreciate probably at the 5-minute point on that stream. Moobot there. Moobot disappointed. I know. Yeah, poor Moobot. I should have removed Moobot there. I nearly had to have a do-over, but we have to give the AI hope. They're very slowly saving up for one of those AI-controlled battle mechs. Somebody will tell me after this. Sana, Law, the Broken. There was a computer that controlled some battle mechs. I can't remember what the situation was, but yeah, Moobot has aspirations in that direction, I think. So, However, we'd rather give 1000 MC to one of you guys. So please do speak up and claim your prizes, guys. If you're trying to contact me on the Twitch chat, it's LasBlast, just as you saw in the stream, LASBLAST. Okay, it doesn't look like we're going to have any luck here, unfortunately, guys. I've been trying to contact the Drapow guys, but their Discord data from the League website is saying it's an out-of-date invitation, so I can't seem to get into that one unless one of those guys is going to speak up in here. I think we'll have to pass on an interview, unfortunately, with the Drapow guys tonight. But again, kudos to them for that late breaking win against the winner, or certainly late-breaking last drop against the Widowmakers there, picking up a healthy chunk of rep for the rest of their campaign. I think that pretty much closes us up here now, so thank you again all for being here, and I will leave you with some video footage from a preceding season just while we wait for those guys who are still here to do it. Oh, actually, no, I promised you an Urban Mech, didn't I? I promised you an Urban Mech. Okay, one more giveaway. If you're still here, thank you for sticking with us. I'm giving away it's the non-loyalty version, unfortunately, of this year's just gone Urban Mech. It's the Urban Mech with some missile hardpoints. So, as a thank you from me, let's see if we can get somebody an Urban Mech. Just going to confirm the channel listing there. And for the last time tonight, super awesome giveaway time! And Bandit B17 there. I may catch some stick for this one. Bandit, if you want to speak up and let me know, I will send you a code for an Urban Mech. So there we go. Right, guys, I am going to leave you some footage. Just give you guys a chance to claim your prizes if you're still on here. Perhaps catch up a little on the chat before we close this one out for the night. There will be more MRBC action coming to you. There's a lot of matches coming over the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I may well be streaming, or casting, should I say, one on the Friday, so hopefully see some of you guys again very soon.
Attention to the paper doll. Make sure you guys are shooting the correct legs. Be careful of the collisions. I don't want to hear complaints about it. Work around it. Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And when anybody's running short, is going to stay towards the top of the call there if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griff. Griffin.
Sounds good.
Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill the out, man. It's fine. It's just a 5-star.
Komm, Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Don't die. Guys, 15 seconds. Don't die. Guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow. Okay, go for Charlie, see if we can get it.
There. To your left, there's a. Acceleration. So, jetzt guys, hinter die Indie-Pocken.
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side. Come on. Like now. I need strikes on OP barrel. Wire our strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs that are on the left side when you pass over.
Overheating is bad.
Both legs on the Griffin. Hit the Griffin. Woo! Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. That was such a
That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie, Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite, zieht in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Kurz Aufschaltung Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums einleiten, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line.
C4 Tactical Hill, boys.
Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, hab 2 durchlaufen, 10 Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit
broken. There was a computer that controlled some battle mechs. I can't remember what the situation was, but yeah, Moobot has aspirations in that direction. So, however, we'd rather give 1,000 FC to one of you guys, so please do speak up and claim your prizes.
Here they come. They're pushing hard, guys.
Deco. Tez on.
Go. Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3.
If you're trying to contact me on Twitch chat, it's LasBlast, just as you see it in the screen. LAS, BLAS.
Get in their face. They got a highlighter, they just push up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta. Go. I got
It doesn't look like we're going to have any luck here. Unfortunately, guys, I'm trying to contact the Power Guys from their Discord data from the league website saying it's an out-of-date invitation, so I can't seem to get into that one unless one of those guys is going to speak up in here. I think we'll have to pass on an interview, unfortunately, with the Power Guys tonight. But again, kudos to them for that late-breaking win against the Widow, or certainly late-breaking last drop against the Widowmakers there, picking up a healthy chunk of rep for the rest of their campaign. I think that pretty much closes us up here now, so thank you again all for being here, and I will leave you with some video footage from a preceding season, just while we wait for those guys who are still here to do it. Oh, actually, no, I promised you an urban mech, didn't I? I promised you an urban mech. Okay, one more giveaway. If you're still here, thank you for sticking with us. I'm giving away it's the non-loyalty version, unfortunately, of this year's just gone urban mech. It's the urban mech with some missile hard points. So, as a thank you from me, let's see if we can get somebody an urban mech. Just gonna confirm the channel listing there. And for the last time tonight, super awesome giveaway time! And Bandit B17 there. I may catch some stick for this one. Bandit, if you want to speak up and let me know, I will send you a code for an urban mech. So there we go. Right, guys, I am going to leave you some footage. Just give you guys a chance to claim your prizes if you're still on here. Perhaps catch up a little on the chat before we close this one out for the night. There will be more MRBC action coming to you. There's a lot of matches coming over the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I may well be streaming, or casting, should I say, one on the Friday. So hopefully see some of you guys again very soon.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it now. Anybody who's going to be working